afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Huddersfield Planning Subcommittee meeting. I just want to start by offering my thanks and commitment to the previous chair of this committee, Councillor Terry Lyons, for all his efforts. I wish him well on everything that he does. So thank you, Terry. Item number 1, membership of the committee. Councillor Firth.
Thank you, Chair. I'm substituting for Councillor Paul David.
I'm Councillor Anwar. I'm substituting for Tyler Hawkins.
Thank you. And Richard, I think we've got apologies from Councillor Donald Firth and Councillor Charles Greaves.
That's correct.
We've had no indication from Councillor Marchington as of yet, so if he arrives, he does. Item number 2 then, minutes of the previous meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Item number 3, declarations and interests. We'll start with Councillor McGuinn, please.
Congratulations, Mr. Councillor Roller. And I echo your sentiments on Councillor Lyons, but I have nothing to declare about interest.
I've got nothing to declare.
Congratulations, nothing to declare.
Thank you, Chair. Can I also add to your words about former Councillor Lyons? He was an excellent chairman and served his ward and this authority so well for so many years. And I have nothing to declare.
Thank you, Chair. Can I congratulate you as well on behalf of our members? Yeah. Also, as Councillor Firth has said, Terry have been here with us to chair and go for 5 years, I think. Yeah, he done a marvelous job. Sorry, he's not here. Thank you. Sorry, nothing to declare.
Congratulations to you on your appointment, and I have nothing to declare. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I would also like to congratulate you and for your new role, and I've got nothing to declare.
Again, could I add my congratulations and nothing to declare?
I was going to say, I think you've had enough. Congratulations. I suppose, congratulations. Yeah, I have nothing to declare. Thanks.
Councillor Munro, can we confirm who you're subbing for?
Yes, thank you. Congratulations as well, but I'm subbing today on behalf of Councillor Andrew Marchington. Thanks.
Any
No, I don't have anything to declare.
No. Thank you. I have nothing to declare. Thank you. Item number 5, deputations and petitions.
None received, Chair.
Great. Item number 6, public question time.
None, Chair.
Okay. That brings us on to item number 7, review of planning appeal decisions. And I think we should have Ellie with us.
Yep, thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, members. My name is Ellie Worth and I am a planner within the West Area team. Here is an overview of the appeal decisions received between January and December 2021. Overall, we have received 47 appeal decisions in the electoral wards within the Huddersfield subcommittee area of the district, of which 77% were dismissed. 3 appeals related to tree work applications, all of which were dismissed. 1 application for an award of cost was lodged, and this has been awarded. The decision was made by the Planning Committee and it was contrary to officer recommendation. Of the 47 appeal decisions, 3 were against non-determination. 42 were determined by officers, of which 35 were dismissed. This equates to 83%. 2 applications were determined by the committee, of which neither were dismissed. Both decisions were contrary to officer recommendation. Having compared the data to that of 2020, there has been a slight reduction in the number of appeals dismissed, reduced from 85% to 77%. Nonetheless, it is important to note that Kirklees are still significantly above the national average. For example, nationally, within a 24-month period, 1.8% of major applications were overturned at appeal, whereby at Kirklees it was only 1.3%. With regards to minor applications, 1% were overturned at appeal within the same 2-year period compared to Kirklees at 0.5%. Lastly, in terms of compliance, 93 enforcement notices were served between the same period, so January to December 2021, of which 10 appeals were received. 9 of these were dismissed and the enforcement notice was upheld in favour of the council. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Ellie. Any comments from the committee? Councillor Firth and then Homewood.
I'd just like, through you, Chair, to congratulate our planning team. We have an excellent planning team, and under the last 2 years they've been under duress actually working from home, and it's not been great for them. So overall, I think the stats are fantastic, and as I say, once again, congratulations from me, and I'm sure all our colleagues will reciprocate that.
Councillor Homewood.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question about, so I agree that it looks like good news generally in terms of the appeals. What I want to understand is when the decisions are made by committee, I think one of the difficulties we seem to have is that obviously where the committee view is different to the officer view, and sometimes the decision is quite balanced. That's my interpretation of some of the applications we've had. But I presume then when it goes to appeal, the person who's appealing that has the committee report, which has the council saying it should be approved. And when it comes to committee decisions, I don't know how, do you know what I mean? Are we then ultimately disadvantaged? Is there a way that in some reports the report should be more factual and left to the committee to decide rather than always having a recommendation where it's quite balanced?
So thank you, Chair. So I'm Julia Stedman, the group leader in development management. So just to confirm in terms of the appeal process, as you say, there is the report which is prepared and included as part of the committee papers. What also happens if the decision is contrary to the officer recommendation, a further report is also put forward, setting out the reasons why the application was refused if it was contrary to the decision. So the case is put forward as an additional paper or an additional report and submitted to the inspectorate as well. But Deborah, do you want to just come in as well?
Yeah, that's you're suggesting that perhaps all the information is kind of persuasive, but we have to give the inspector everything that has been said and done to make a decision de novo. So that person looks at the application from scratch, but is informed by the officer's report, statutory consultees, and the members' view during the course of the debate, and the refusal notice, which will set out why it was refused. And the inspector will look at it from de novo. They won't think, well, 50% wanted to approve it or 50% wanted to refuse it. That inspector will look at it as if it's fresh. Looking at the policies, applying the material considerations, and that's how it's decided.
Yes, thank you, Chair. And what I can do, if members wish, is just read the extract, what might be quite interesting from the costs appeal decision. So what it sets out there is, in refusing planning permission, the council in effect sought to prevent the development of an allocated housing site. The fact that the planning committee did not agree with their officer's recommendation is not alone justification for an award of costs. However, the reasons for doing so do need to stand up to scrutiny and be supported by robust objective evidence. So I think that's the key there in terms of a decision. As you know, it can be contrary to the officer recommendation, but it just needs to be sort of a robust reason, which we do try to sort of put that forward as part of the appeal, but it's just to always have that in mind when members are deciding those applications. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Sokol.
Yeah, and Chair, yeah, I think generally, as Councillor James Humboldt said, it's a good, was still 23% application percent was allowed, appeals were allowed. So I'm not sure any cost awarded against the council on those, yeah? Because my concern is about 2-3 years ago, we had an application in what they call in Dewsbury Heavy Bowling. Yeah, when the committee granted permission on that, it was a big application, yeah. But the applicant went to the appeal, and we have to, because when the officer thought there will be a big cost against we might lose it, there will be big cost against the council. So that time we change our recommendation, calling another meeting, so it won't happen on this one. I think we don't have any big application on here. So can we, in future, we know the cost awarded against the council, yeah.
Sorry, just to clarify, Councillor Sokol, you're asking to be informed of the actual monetary amount for costs. Are you talking about in general, or this one that was refused and appealed and we got costs awarded against us? That one?
Yeah.
Well, we not at the moment, we can't tell you, because it's under consideration, but no, we can't tell you at the moment because we're negotiating it still. I mean, the chair knows, but we can't make it public just yet. But there's no reason why it can't be public in the future once it's been settled.
So can we know in future meetings when the negotiation completed?
When the costs have been settled, yes.
Yeah.
Planning is a very public process, so there is no commercial sensitivity around that. But at the moment, there is, because it's under negotiation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments, James?
Sorry to continue the conversation. I think that was really interesting conversation. I think. Just to know we've had the report, but I think talking about the annual training and things, I think it would be really interesting to look at some of these case studies where it went to appeal, like you say, what the reasons were, but also maybe somewhere the appeal was, upheld by dismissed by the inspector as well, so we can see what those bases for arguments is, because I agree sometimes we have a discussion and obviously it's not always clear to members the level of supporting evidence that's required to justify that decision. So I think looking at some of those case studies would be quite helpful from a training perspective.
Thank you. Any further comments from anybody else? I'd just like to add thank you to our planning department. I mean, it's really good, as Councillor Firth has said. The cost of the appeals, I would imagine, go into the hundreds of thousands, and I think we all need to take a little bit of reflection on that going forward. But thank you for your comments. Thank you very much, Ella. Is there anything else from you?
No, nothing further.
Thank you for bringing this report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then the first item number 8, page 19 to 30, application for the erection of a single-storey extension and summer house. Tom?
Thank you very much, Chair. This application seeks planning permission for the erection of a single-storey extension and a single-storey detached summer house at number 52, Benomini Road, Almondbury. This application has been brought to committee as the applicant is a Kirklees Council employee within the Growth and Regeneration Service. As set out in the committee report, no representations have been received for this proposal. As you can see, the detached dwelling house is on a corner plot within the close. It is the residential area of Almondbury, comprising of detached and semi-detached property of a similar architectural style, with various examples of extensions evident. It's not on allocated land in the Kirklees local plan. The red line boundary sets out the residential curtilage. The property had an existing rear single-storey conservatory and small patio area to its rear garden. Forward of the primary elevation of the house is a link-attached garage with driveway. The proposed single-storey extension would be situated behind the garage and to the side of the house. There is also a proposed single-storey detached summer house situated within the garden grounds to the east. On view are the existing elevations of the rear and the side of the house where the garage can be seen. This is where the single-storey extension will be sited. The left-hand photograph shows the view from the front. The right-hand photograph shows the view from the highway adjacent. You can see the boundary fencing and the rear single-storey conservatory assisting in screening views of the garden from the highway. To the left is the rear elevation of the house with patio. The right-hand photograph shows the rear of the garage, where the extension is to be situated behind. There is a slight change of ground levels falling to the east. The proposed single-storey rear extension is set out in the blue shaded areas, and to the rear bound, it would generally conform in line with the style, material and dimensions of the single-storey garage with the pitched roof. It would be finished in stone and concrete tile roof to match. It would be set back from the rear elevation of the house, aiding the subservience. The garage will remain in use. From the highway, the extension will be screened by the bulk and massing of the host dwelling house, conservatory and garage. This slide shows the detached single-storey summer house. It will be constructed of timber and monopitch roof. Glazing will be to front and partially to the side elevations. A photograph has been supplied indicating the design. It is proposed to be set here with a modestly extended patio to the east of the site boundary. It will be partially screened by the boundary fencing here and here. The photographs show the views possible from the proposed extension from the garage. It would be screened by closed border timber fencing to the side, and to the rear boundary of the garden, views will be screened by fencing, trees and green landscaping. The approximate location of the summer house will be set where the swing and windy house are. The summer house will be faced back towards the single-storey rear extension, so that the only views to neighbour would again be screened by the boundary fence here, as shown on the photograph. The proposal is compliant with the principles set out within the House Extension and Alteration SPD and LP24 of the Kirklees local plan. As indicated within the committee report, the recommendation is to delegate approval of the application and the issuance of the decision notice to the Head of Planning and Development. Thank you for listening. Nothing further to add, Chair.
Thank you, Tom. Do we have a speaker?
Here we do. Yes, Chair. We have one speaker, that's Emma Hanks, who's the agent.
Thank you, Emma. Welcome to the meeting. You have 3 minutes. I'll start the clock when you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm the agent for the planning application that Tom's just gone through with yourselves, so I'd just like to say a few words. So 52 Benhamley Road, Alnbury, is a detached 4-bedroom family home built in the early 90s, located on a small cul-de-sac housing development with gardens and driveways to the front, and with further garden and amenity space to the rear. The house has its own attached double garage to the front of the property, with its driveway in front and conservatory to the rear, which you've seen on the photographs. Our proposal is for a single-storey side extension to the dwelling, which is located to the side and rear of the garage, which is set back from the main body of the house. This is approximately 3 metres in width and 4.2 metres in length. The extension we have proposed to be built in coarse natural stone to match in with the existing stone of the dwelling, as well as the roof being built with concrete roof tiles, again to match the existing materials on site. The extension has a wraparound glazed gable end and side glazed feature also. This provides lots of light into what is proposed to be an open plan kitchen, dining and snug area for the owners of the property. There is also some internal alterations and reconfiguration of the internal space to make the overall living accommodation work better for the owners, but these elements do not need planning permission. Externally, there has been a proposal for a modest timber summer house in the position of the current swing and Wendy house, which I believe to be repositioned in the lawn area of the garden. There is also an element of landscaping which would obviously be required once the extension was built, if approved, due to the building works disrupting the existing patio area. We believe that the proposal meets all the requirements of the Kirklees local plan, the supplementary guidance documents on house extensions and alterations, and also the highways design guide, together with the NPPF. We trust that the committee can support this modest application and delegate this back to the officer's recommendation for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, over to the committee. Councillor Sokol.
Thank you, Chair. Overall, Chair, I'm not against this application. Yeah, I think the side extension on the garage as well should be fine. But I got some concern about the outbuilding, which we call the summer house. Yeah, and in the garden. My concern is sometimes I've been through some other applications, after some time the applicant once they got the planning permission for outbuilding, then they come back again, or can we have there's a 2-story building on this one, yeah. So I'm not against the summer house, but can we put some condition, yeah, this summer house stay as summer house in future, yeah, it should not be come back or other application to rebuild this outbuilding.
Thank you, Councillor Sokol. Councillor Firth, I'll put it.
Thank you, Chair. I've read this document quite carefully and I've listened to the officer. I think it's an excellent application and it is subservient. It's only to the main building. It's only a modest extension. It does state quite clearly in there that it's doubtful whether the summer house would even have to apply for planning permission. So I'm quite happy with it, and I therefore move the officer recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Firth. Councillor Homewood.
Yeah, I was just going to second Councillor Firth. I think I hear what Councillor Sokol is saying about the summer house, but I think it's such a small summer house. I see the other ones we've seen where they've been larger and then people want to turn them into holiday lets and stuff like that, but I think this is probably too small, so I'm quite comfortable to second Councillor Firth.
Thank you, Councillor Homewood. Any further comments? Julie, can I bring you in?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, to be honest, I was just going to come in to just reiterate really what Councillor Homewood's just said. I think because of the actual size, the construction, the position of the proposed outbuilding, as officers, we would suggest that is sufficient to ensure that it wouldn't sort of become a standalone dwelling. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further comments? So we have a mover and a seconder. We'll move to the vote.
Right, thank you. So I'll just call out your name to clarify the vote, and as we've been told, don't have to worry about touching the microphone, it'll be done for you. So if we can start please with Councillor McGuinn.
For.
Councillor McGrath.
For.
Councillor Lee Richards.
For.
Councillor Firth.
For.
Councillor Munro.
For.
Councillor Sokol.
For.
Councillor Anwar.
For.
Councillor Sawa.
For.
Councillor Lawson.
For.
Councillor Homewood. And Councillor Allen. That's it. So that's unanimous, Chair.
Thank you, everyone. It's been a very short meeting. That brings us to the end of our meeting. One item. Thank you for your attendance, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.